Why hasn't the carrier picked up your car yet? Who's got the keys at the dealership? What's going on here? This makes no sense at all. Carriers and dispatchers are looking for specific information from you when you post on Central Dispatch when they're booking loads. And if the info is wrong, it's a no-go. Chime in, say hello, make new friends, and network with the best on ATI Auto Business. What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to Industry Logistics on ATI Auto Business, where everyone learns more about the automotive industry. If this is your first time here, please do say hello. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn. I've got my co-host, Sue. Let's bring her in here. Sue, can you see me and hear me okay?
I can. Can you see and hear me?
I can see you. I can hear you.
Cool.
We're doing load boards, mobile apps, auto transport, car shipping, advice, tips, tricks. Someone asked me earlier, do I do consultations? My initial answer was, well, not really. And then I went into about a 20-minute consultation. So
That's what always happens, doesn't it?
well, we underestimate the depth of what it is that we know. What it is that we know? What are we doing here? If you're a dealer, if you're a shipper, if you're a broker, if you're a carrier, ATI is not only the most consistent media resource in auto logistics, but also we eat, sleep, and breathe it. You work in a dispatch office and you're a broker.
Yes.
And I'm obsessed with the automotive ecosystem. We're going to see that in the news today. So please say hello in the live chat. Oh, Charles is here. Gary is here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Hey, guys.
Very cool. Thanks for saying hello. If you have anything, you can add it in the live chat. You know that we love it if you leave a like. And you can click links and share the show, YouTube and LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you can ask a question. You know, the LinkedIn audience is different than the YouTube audience.
Right.
LinkedIn is more dealers and shippers. YouTube is more carriers.
Yep.
And then I think brokers are on both.
I think so, too.
Yeah, brokers are kind of everywhere. So brokers in the news, let's do this. Let's go into the news. I got a bunch of news. And then, let's do this. In my news is where I'll share what we're going to do today. Today is booking loads on Central. Hi, I'm calling to book a load. And then tips and tricks let's see what you've got here.
I did tips and tricks for verifications because it's a huge, don't get me wrong, it's important to get the load, but verifying them to make sure it's a legit load is probably the second most important thing you probably do.
Why a legit load? I mean, man, are we in the world of spam?
Yeah.
Make sure it's a legit load. It used to be just make sure it's ready for pickup.
Well, I mean that too. I consider legit load ready for pickup. They're going to be there. It runs and drives. Isn't loaded full of garbage. That kind of thing.
But also that it's real.
Right. Well, yeah.
That it's an actual.
That the car is really there. Yeah.
It gives new meaning to actual pickup, actual delivery.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Oh, shoot. Boy, do I love that one. You can't verify enough, she says. She's going to tell us more about that. This is just teasers, so you want to stick around for that. We always talk about knowing your ecosystem: OEM, dealer, auction, broker, remarketing, reconditioning, compliance, transport. Tuesday night, the other night, I had a show about repo body cameras and then a special segment on human trafficking. It was a pretty good show. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. So, we could all use our own body cam footage at times, couldn't we?
Truly anymore? Man. That's scary, but kind of true.
I know. Yeah, man. Sure. Definitely be helpful. We're the ecosystem's neutral zone. One of the things I was thinking about, Sue, is I keep trying to figure out how to find a way to ask the question, does your content suck? You know, there's just a lot of sucky content out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not, it's okay. I don't have the views to the moon, and, you know, I may not have, but it's real people talking real.
Right.
Why do so many webinar and whatever, it turns into the everything show and yet the nothing show? I don't want to listen to you talk about what you ate and the weather. I don't know.
Right.
And if you can't stay on a topic for more than 5 minutes, maybe you don't have a webinar.
True.
You know? Anyways, let's get to Show Me the Truck. Now, this is funny. I don't have a truck today. I have...
What?
Mark
Well,
Zuckerberg. Okay. But this is the funniest thing I saw this on LinkedIn. How drivers think brokers use tracking. Oh my God, that's funny. It's true.
That's true. It is true.
You know, the shipper just wants to know where the car is.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg's not looking into the window of your cab. Or is... I mean,
Or is he?
I don't know. Oh, shoot. That's so funny. I mean, just sit there. That is just nice. Boy, oh boy. He should frame that and put that on his wall. Okay. We all should. Okay. Hundreds of Tesla vehicles parked outside Chesterfield Mall. Why?
Huh.
Now, Dan sent this in. Dan, thank you, Dan, for sending in, interesting stuff. Hundreds of Tesla vehicles are parked outside the Chesterfield Mall as the shopping center sets to close doors in August. The Tesla vehicles cover more than 10 rows of parking spots outside of a building that appears Sears once anchored. So, I mean, I think it's it's like legitimate rumor, because that's interesting. I mean, it made the cover of Fox. Or
So, but they don't know why.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that's not. If you're doing an investigative thing, wouldn't you find out?
Right. The question is, what is this
Why?
news? What is this? Why?
Yeah.
It just says why. I don't know.
I don't know. That's your job. Tell us
I
why.
guess. I mean, you know what? They weren't posted right on Central, and nobody knows what to do.
Or just parked there for a bunch of transporters to pick up.
Here's some more gossip. TQL's newest hiring class. Okay.
Man, I love right now.
Auto auction facility catches on fire again, less than 6 months apart.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
It is, this time 45 cars were totaled. The owners were hoping for 50. That's not true. Denton County Fire responded to a structure fire at an auction facility Sunday morning, 3700 block of McPherson Road. When crews arrived, several vehicles were involved in the fire. The fire chief said the weather conditions on both days of the fires were similar. Interesting comment.
Huh.
Okay. 45 vehicles. Now, the last time, I think this is like allegedly down near Dallas or something. And last time I think it was assumed it was an EV fire. So either somebody needs to check the EVs, check the weather, or check in with ownership. I'm not sure. We don't know. It's all speculation. But they're not kidding around. That was a real fire. Look at that, man. That is mayhem. Okay. Hey, did you get the memo? Okay, today, top news. Super Dispatch introducing the next generation marketplace for those who may have missed the live event. I believe it was yesterday. Proud to announce the launch of Super Dispatch's next generation marketplace, groundbreaking suite of tools tailored to revolutionize the auto transport industry with features like private loadboard, automated price negotiation, pricing data and recommendations, and a verified carrier network. They are promoting this. I think this is the email you sent me.
Yeah.
Private loadboard network recommended pricing price negotiations, suggested loads, EDI integration for OEMs, and enhanced platform security, reducing double brokering risks, and a dedicated fraud investigator. Let's dive further into it. Features of Super Dispatch's next generation marketplace. So at the top of the list, private load board, right? So we're thinking
True.
what do carriers want to hear, what do shippers want to hear, right? Got to appeal to everybody. Private load board, shippers and brokers can now enjoy an exclusive environment to post and manage load orders with direct access to their personal carrier network, those that they trust. This feature is more than just a load board, dynamic tool for instant booking and automated price negotiation direct to your preferred vendors. And then automated price negotiation feature enables more efficient, fair transactions by addressing the pain points of time-consuming negotiations. Right, that is a problem with negotiation. A lot of time can go by. It's got to be fast, right?
Well, here's the only thing I'll tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
They need to put on there, we talked about a chat line with the brokers. They really need to do that. There are a lot of brokers on there. You request a load. You do not hear anything. I mean, I usually give them so long to try to get an answer. And this is even without asking for more money. This is just asking for the load. And most of the brokers, you end up having to call. And that's if you get through to them. So if there was a chat, at least we could chat on there and say, hey, I requested this load. You know, it took me, last week I asked for a load. I waited for an hour. And when I called them and said we hadn't, gotten the load or anything, oh, I didn't even see it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back through that. Okay,
yeah.
So you're saying, and this was on, where was this? This was
on Super Dispatch.
It was on Super, okay.
Yeah.
So you tried to do the price negotiation.
No, I didn't even ask for an upgrade on the price. I was just wanting the car itself.
Oh.
And I had requested it. No response for an hour. I finally called them and said, hey, I put in a request for this load. And he said, oh, I didn't even see it. So if there was a chat there, then we could chat with them and say, hey, I put in this request. I haven't heard anything. Can I have the load? Kind of thing. You know what I mean?
All right,
they talked about doing the chat line a few months back. It just hasn't happened yet.
All right. Well, that's great feedback because
definitely need it.
It seems like as customers now in the digital world, when we don't see a way to ask a question now, it bothers us.
Yeah.
I don't have one on my website, but I also don't have any. I don't have a customer success staff.
Right.
You're looking at them.
Right.
Okay, so, but anyways, yeah, and that makes sense. All right, so this chat button should be where?
Probably
on the load board, on the mobile
app?
Yeah,
wherever you're requesting the load, there should be, I would think, a chat for each person. Like when you're in the loads, asking for the load, there should be a little chat icon right there, I think. And that way you can say, hey, I requested this load. Is it available? I mean, not everybody even responds. Some people just don't even give you a load. You never heard from them. So if there was a way for us to do that, and because even if sometimes when you call, they don't answer the phone. So it's kind of, and I will say this, I like the fact, I don't know if you realize this, but you can cancel a load on Super Dispatch from the broker. There's a button. I will tell you, I still call and tell them I'm canceling before I do it, because to me, that's like having a load on Central, not letting anybody know and just clicking cancel button, and then you end up with a negative. So just common courtesy is let the person know what's going on, cancel the load the right way, moving on. So same thing, if that was there, the chat button, you could chat with that person and say, hey, I broke down, blah, 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 blah. Can you please cancel this load too? It would save steps as far as making the phone call, not getting a hold of somebody, leaving a voicemail, that kind of thing. So.
Well, I think that's really helpful, and I'm going to guess this is an industry-wide issue that you can't chat or get right.
Right.
Yeah, somebody missed. And also is that as we go into more digital transactions, you're right. You called to let them know as a courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly digital yes, no lacks that courtesy, that feeling that you're in the loop. Nobody likes to be felt out of the loop.
No, and I mean, that always ends up getting you negatives, or it ends up getting you somebody who won't work with you again because they feel like you were not, upfront and just doing the responsible thing by letting somebody know. I mean, I hate even leaving voicemails and saying I need to cancel the loan. I usually call back until I get a hold of someone because they'll say they never got the voicemail. In fact, I had that happen. I said, I left you a voicemail. Nobody called me back. It's still on us. Oh, I'm sorry. I never even noticed you left a voicemail. So, yeah, always call
Right.
until you
And
actually
who,
talk to a live person.
let's face it, our
Yeah.
email inboxes are full and our voicemail boxes are exploding.
Cool. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like,
And always get the name of the person you canceled with. Always. Always, always.
I
Because,
totally agree with you.
yeah, because it
I
will
would put that
happen.
in my spreadsheets.
Yep.
Yes. I'll
And it
put
will
the
happen. They'll
time.
call you and be bitching you out, and you're like, I talked to so and so. Oh, I'm sorry. But at least you had that person's name. And I usually keep track of when I called. I usually write it on the paperwork that I'm canceling. I called at this time and I talked to this person. That way there's no discrepancies later on down the road where you piss somebody off.
Even if you're at a restaurant, just having a server's name on the receipt in case there's some kind of need to go back and recollect. Oh, you disappeared on me. Oh, well, your screen is still there. Yes. Oh, now you're back. Now I can't hear you.
Hitting mute.
Oh, there we go.
Before,
Okay,
so
you're okay.
I took my face off of there. It said so.
Okay.
Okay, anyway.
Thank you, Gary. Yes, always call define. Gary says define courtesy.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about it. What is courtesy?
Just doing the right thing. I hate to
Doing
say
the
it like
right thing.
that, but
Well,
it is.
you want to let you want to let somebody know in a
Yeah.
way that we're not only do we have to worry that loads are real, but it seems like everybody's ready to get their feelings hurt
Yes. Oh yeah.
right
Big
away.
time.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
everybody. Dealers, brokers, carriers, everybody.
Yes.
I've even noticed, okay, here's one. In ATI, on my YouTube channel, if I miss a comment, or, you know what, YouTube is so sensitive that they'll take a comment and they'll put it in inappropriate, and I don't see it.
Right. So you didn't answer it.
And then or it doesn't show up in the feed, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I'll never watch your channel again. You didn't even." And I'm like, "Whoa! I didn't even know."
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry too.
Yeah.
You know, but we're all really sensitive.
Yes. I would say.
Even
True.
though we want to act like there are no snowflakes, it's Snowflake City. All right, let's just be real.
I mean,
In fact,
I've noticed over the years they've become less sensitive when you cancel a load, as long as it's not Copart or IA or a
good.
time-sensitive thing.
See, that's good.
Yeah.
It should be. It's just a car.
Right. Nobody's
Yeah,
wrong.
we're not
You
in
know,
a
I mean,
relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Some of them act like that. Like
They
you
do.
personally,
I
you know.
know. I have had so many brokers. I had a guy tell me, he actually, as he was canceling, he was so mad at me. He's like, never promise. I'm like, I didn't promise. I just booked it.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Things happen, man. I mean, that's the thing.
Now,
You know, and I
some
like
people
a
are
good
into
broker.
manipulation to make sure you
Well,
pick it up.
Well, true that, but I mean, I do like the fact when I cancel with some of the bigger brokers, they're like, "Dude, I understand. Trucks break down." I'm like, "Thank you for understanding," because there's some people, yeah, there is no understanding. It's their way or the highway. I'm never going to use you again, you know, that kind of thing. Now, I'll get upset if it's a Copart or or if it's like a VIP customer they were expected there today. Like that happened yesterday with all the tornadoes going on. I had a VIP picking up in St. Louis, and they were bringing all the cars in because they were worried St. Louis was going to get hit so bad. It was actually where I was at. I've got pictures I just sent to you, by the way, to post on there. And if anybody wants to buy cars, go to Nick's or Springfield, because that's where they're going to be selling all the dented cars from the hail last night. But anyways, so I mean, I get being upset, and I have been upset myself, but it's usually there's a reason, and it's not just every random load, you know, like some of these brokers out there, if you even barely hint you're going to cancel the load or that you might not be able to pick it up, they're canceling immediately and chewing your ass out and giving you a negative all at the same time. So
it is, and the thing is, I mean, there's a lot on the line. Each car, this is another thing. It's almost like it's boring to talk about, but when it matters, it really matters. And that is that every single car is somebody's livelihood or something.
Yes.
It's not like they're just cars.
Right.
right? It's kind of like I was going through the grocery aisle, and the guy was tossing the groceries a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, man,
Yeah, that's
those
stuff
are my
I'm
groceries you're tossing.
Yeah,
Can we not toss the
yeah,
groceries?
yeah.
Yeah. So we get, we get caught up in what's going on. But that was great feedback, and I'd like to see what happens next with live chat. Doesn't that go for all brokers?
Honestly, yeah.
It seems like I hear you week after week talking about, and in fact, I do know there are customer success lines ringing right now, and the people answering the phone can't help you either
No.
because they can't reach the dispatch department. Like, what the F, man?
Yeah.
You just sent a building full of people to another conference, dropping all this cash to sign up clients.
Yeah.
But your dispatch has cobwebs and a couple people? Come on now. Stop that. I know. I know you just heard me say that, and I know you're thinking, oh my God. Does he know? Yeah, I do. It's true.
I honestly think Central is going to add a chat version too.
I think Central's going to do all kinds of stuff. And I'll tell you what, if Central is the one to capitalize on all this feedback, great.
So yeah.
Great.
I mean, honestly, they were the first ones to the party if you want to be particular about all this
Well,
stuff.
I'll tell you, it's funny, and I'll bet they would say the same.
Yeah.
Central would say, we were the first ones to the party,
Yep.
and we will not be outdone.
Yep.
All right.
And they started about the same time I started, and that's the only one I knew of.
And I'm going to add this, is that the level of... So walled gardens and silos are these concepts where, everybody's king. That's where we've gotten to in auto transport. Everybody's got their own technology. Everybody's got their own thing. Everybody wants to take the customer. Now, I get it.
Yeah.
This is business. But man, oh man, have we gotten down to business of siloed businesses. But anywho, OEM transport enabled with EDI and Super Dispatch. Now, I just want to call attention. This is a good one. Because if you want to work with automakers, you have to go the extra level to communicate and provide AI AG inspections that they require. And you want to do that. This is why I read automotive news. I recommend anybody go to autonews.com. And autonews.com, that's automotive news. This is where you'll find automakers, dealers. Because again, what are we doing? We're moving vehicles. And not only do we need to know the length, the width, the height, and the weight, we need to know who makes these cars, what cars are popular, who's buying them, what are rental car companies doing. When you go by an airport and you see all the car haulers, you realize, man, this is an operation. Or an auction.
Right.
Or a fleet management company, what do they do? Hey, DDD, what's going on? Thanks for saying hello. Let's keep going in the news then.
Did you read what she said?
Oh.
Read that.
Well, I thought I can see Central acquiring... Oh, okay.
Oh.
I didn't read that. You're right.
No, you didn't.
What the... Okay, so I'm going to go with a no. Let's take a vote.
I would say no, but I mean, hey, if they came with a lot of money, who wouldn't?
So, yeah. Well, all right. You want to go there? How much money would it take? How much? Oh, man. How much money would it take
to acquire Super
for SD to be acquired by CD? Put it in the live chat. Put it in the comments below. There is nowhere else this question can even be asked.
True.
It's not, no. This is a no, Jay. You can't, no. Is it 50 million? Or you think
it's a few.
It's going to be a no-go, Sue. 5 million?
No-go?
5 million? Heck no.
I think it's going to have to be 10, 15 more. Really?
Keep going.
85?
Yeah. Keep going.
Wow.
40? Nope. I'm telling you, when you look at this, and this, I'm so glad we're doing this, because in each day when we're booking cars, we're down here at little. But if you're an investor or you're an angel investor, private equity, this is what you do, right? As you eat your Denver omelet that costs $200, you know, and you're looking out the skyline view and all the Autobahn and the Alps and this, you know, everybody. This is what you're talking about. How much money would it take? And it is not less than $40 million. I'm telling you right now.
Doug said 100.
Beck said 100?
Doug did, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we're talking about. 100, now you're in the ballpark. Right, okay, Doug said 100. Yeah, no, that's it, 100. Anything less than 100, and this meeting is over. Thank you for the Denver omelet. I'm telling you, and you know, and it's not just that; it's everybody. Let's go down the line. And I actually when I was having a meeting earlier today. Let's take a look at who are the super influential. This is fun. This is literally the only show where this conversation can even happen. And even here, I mean, we are on the move. I'm in a plane that will not land. You're in a super nuclear bunker, and you can't leave for a week. Okay. So the companies that we're talking about. Okay, here we go. Here's the billion. Let's do $1 billion. Here's $1 billion. Ready?
Okay.
Central Dispatch, Super Dispatch, RunBuggy, Auto Sled. I put Carshipio in there. Montway, Acertus, Hawley, ACV, Ship Your Car Now. That's $1 billion right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's $1 billion in auto transport technology. That's wild. That's why Central Dispatch, I think, has made that $100 million investment. That's what's up for grabs here. This is enormous business.
Yeah, it really is.
Anyways, Jay, get back to your little dispatch show. Okay, let's keep going. And this is why, here's another one. Super Dispatch introducing double broker protection. I like this because they're not beating around the bush. Right. This is what it is. Turn on double broker protection. And what's happening when enabled, the company and contact details will be hidden from unverified carriers who aren't set as approved or can instantly book. And I said recently on a show, and I made a short out of it, any load posted is now subject to potential fraud.
Yeah, hacking.
That's where we are now. Good times. I talked about this Tuesday night. Montway Auto Transport launches preferred carrier network program designed to attract and reward high caliber car haulers. Now, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a second. You take the wheel. What are you reading?
Let's see.
Live chat. What are you seeing on this deal?
So, I think they're making it almost like a verified carrier system like Super Dispatch.
Huh.
That's what I'm kind of reading it like.
Huh.
Dedicated dispatch. Now, I know they have the dedicated dispatch manager. Now, they did that like last year, a couple of years ago, because they kept sending me emails saying, I'm going to be your dedicated dispatch manager.
And it's funny you say that because I feel like one of the sciences of press releases now is just to include something you already announced. But that's just,
Yeah.
It's fine. Still
access to load.
Information. Dedicated dispatch manager. And what does that mean? Do you get a dedicated dispatch manager?
Well, the way I took it when they sent me the emails were that they would be looking like they're going to ask you what your regular route is what I was asked. What size carrier, that kind of thing. And they're supposed to be looking for loads that match what you run. If they come across something, they're contacting you. That's the way I took it.
Camera 1, station identification. We're asking the questions that all the carriers are asking. We just happen to be doing it live on YouTube and LinkedIn. But this is what the industry wants to know, right? What does a dedicated dispatch manager mean? And
that's the way I took it.
Okay, so they're looking. So if you are part, How do you become part of the preferred carrier network?
See, they like I said, when they did this last year, I got emails on every carrier asking me, telling me that they were going to be that, and like I said, what route do we run, that kind of thing. And but I never, I mean, I
And
didn't hear.
I want, you know what I want? I want a shipper or a dealer right now to say, why is he asking this question? How does he not already know?
True.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know who
Yeah.
does know. I know there's a press release. Dedicated dispatch manager, preferred lanes and priority status. By the way, this goes for everybody. I mean, we're in this silo. That's why I talk about the silo world. Is we're in a silo world of messages going out, but I don't know. Do carriers know? Are carriers signing up for this?
I don't.
Right?
I mean, I haven't even got the email if it's a preferred. I took it as by their preferred carrier is you're already signed up with Montway. You're already signed up with ship.cars so you can get their loads. I don't know if there's anything different other than they're wanting to get as many drivers signed up so that they can use this more efficiently, I think. Because, there's a lot of people that do a regular route. This would be perfect for them if you had some kind of guy that was looking for that route for you. Absolutely. But most drivers don't do route.
Well, see, and I will say, one of the reasons why when I dive into something, it's because you got my attention.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think carriers would like this.
Oh, yeah.
Do they know about it? And then what level of, like, I'm going to read this. It's in the press release. Steady work and timely pay to keep business moving. Well, that sounds really good. What does that mean?
Yeah. It may be totally different than what they sent to me in an email. I don't know.
I don't know either. So, access to an industry-leading platform. Do you look for loads on Montway load boards?
Really? No.
Right?
Um,
Isn't this
main
crazy
reason-
feedback? Like,
Well,
God,
there's a
I would send this
reason-
around the whole business department. I mean,
There is a reason why
Jeez.
for me. And it's specific to one. Well, we've got two drivers that they've got blocked off. So remember when we had all the hacking and our Montway accounts were all hacked and they were bidding on loads left and right and all that. So we've got a couple carriers that when we ask for a load, we very rarely get them because they have to go through the whole approval process to make sure we're not hacking and they don't hold the load. So usually the only loads I get are ones that have been sitting there for a while. My driver just happens to be there and nobody else has called to get it. So that's the main reason why I don't get on there very often is because of that. And we all know a lot of their loads are not any good. So,
oh no.
that's part of it too. But
Well, time
they
is
don't
of the
pay enough.
essence. Well,
yeah.
let's see what else we got here. Man, we're already halfway through the show. That's crazy. I saw this on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
What do you see?
I take it as their McKinnon Toyota is booking cars through their platform. That's the way I would take it.
Right. We're delighted to announce that McKinnon Toyota has joined the RunBuggy platform.
So
now
this is the way I would take it because this is what Ready Auto used to do. They would let them have access, list their own cars. They were listed as CODs. Remember we talked about that? Red is never COD. Those were the ones that were CODs. I literally talked to Ready Auto probably 10 years ago about a load that we couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And that's why. And they're like, we allow them to get on our platform. We charge them a basic fee for the car and they do what they want kind of thing.
Right.
They
So
choose
now
who's going to pick it and that kind of thing.
So now
I'm thinking
maybe
like
McKinnon
that.
is tied into the RunBuggy
RunBuggy.
platform and anything they want, they can just post it.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know that for sure, but that's kind of the way it implies that, you
Hey,
can
what's
get on
up,
their
Elena?
platform and put on whatever you want kind of thing.
Okay.
So,
And this gets into the reason I do this stuff is what are the loads that are posted? How did they get there? Right?
right.
Let's look at it from the shipper side. I think this is smart marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Here's something I thought. Well, I guess if you're a competitor, now you know that you need to call
RunBuggy.
McKinnon Toyota and see what's going on with your account. I mean, this was what makes it so fascinating, right?
My only problem with RunBuggy is like I talked about it lots of times. We are not allowed to haul for them. We do not carry an extra $1 million in liability. Um, and I've never hauled enough for them to
Well,
ask my driver to pay for it. You know what
then
I
I
mean?
will say this. See what you just said? Because
Mhm.
I'd have to go dig it up, but allegedly I have seen a marketing material in the past that says they have over 30,000 carriers. That can't be true because what you just said was there's a lot of carriers that don't meet their requirements.
No,
So
I called RunBuggy, was it
30,000
2 months
carriers that
ago?
have a
Yeah.
million in insurance, I
Yeah.
I don't know.
I called RunBuggy two
I don't
months
know.
ago because I had heard that a
Just
million
feedback.
dollars was dropped, and asked the lady to find out what was going on. We've had our paperwork in there for over a year, and she's like, I don't know what's going on. We'll call you back. That was 2 months ago. Nothing's ever happened. So,
But I'm going to be in the hot seat in not so long. I'm always in the hot seat,
right.
but because RunBuggy is going to be on the show to talk about their AI in a few weeks,
We'll talk to them
and
about the insurance requirements.
no, I'm not. No, I want to focus on the AI.
There's somebody else that's doing the same thing though. Who is it?
Well, it's just going. It just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah,
Oh, it's,
it was another big broker, and I was like,
I was signing up until I found out.
who is it?
There'll be a point where there's only like 5 guys left that can haul
Left,
your load.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. 5 bots left, or whatever. It's crazy.
Doug,
hey.
I know you got on there, but all of us have the same paperwork you have in there, and nobody's been approved. So I don't know what's going on.
It's like, hey, Acertus now offers salvage. Remember how they acquired
Yeah.
RCG a few
Yeah.
months ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for salvage.
So now they're doing salvage. And can you now? Let's say you go to book a salvage and you got a question. Can you chat with them?
You can chat with them. I don't know if
Oh.
they'll know anything about the load because the
Oh.
people you're usually chatting with are either going to cancel your load, find this, that, and then they tell you they'll get back to you, and they don't. Now, I don't know if everybody knows too, but Acertus has been posting their loads on Super Dispatch.
Ooh, really?
But
Ooh, well, wait a minute.
there's a
What?
big but with
Yeah.
this.
Big butt.
Here's the big but. You can't get the load. They tell you you must call this number that's out of California. You can't even talk to the Metro people on their load board. You have to talk to somebody in California. I was given the number. I called for the load. The lady said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, you have a load posted on Super Dispatch. You are with Metro, correct? Yes. I said, I was told I have to call you for this specific load. And she says, well, I don't get it. I'll ask somebody from management to call you about this load. Okay. Anybody ask me? Did I hear from anybody?
Nope.
No. I finally took a different route and I canceled the load on Super Dispatch with no response whatsoever. So I don't know who's in California running that part of it, but somebody needs to help because it's not getting
Wow.
done. Yeah.
What a show of feedback. But again, we're not saying enough. We need to go back to reading press releases and talking happy, because this is not.
I'm never happy about this stuff.
I know, man. This is dispatching. All right. Elena says she had 4 drivers approved by RunBuggy. Just had to keep bugging them over.
We've been doing that.
RunBugging.
They've had our insurance. They've had everything.
She had to RunBuggy them.
See, I was told when we called too that we had to have that extra million. Are you guys saying that we don't? Because they're still saying you do when you call in.
Okay, wait a minute. Hey, breaking news. Paul says Acertus on Super Dispatch is RCG Logistics.
That's probably who
You
I'm
should
calling
call.
then.
Ah.
They have no clue though. No clue.
Ah. Well, they'll figure it out.
Well, they've had these loads on here for what, 2 months now?
Just send another building full of people to a conference. Don't worry about it. Come on. It'll be fine.
It was much easier to call RCG or book them yourself before.
Well, there wasn't enough money in it. Hey, attention, gate pass policy change effective May 1st. Manheim security vendor will no longer have the ability to print gate passes forwarded to a man. So I
That's
posted, okay,
option.
let's go back in time for a minute.
Okay, yeah, because I've never done it to an email. So
Well, I have done this, but when you have to do it, man, you feel like you are just living on the edge of technology. Like, if you have to forward an email to a guard shack to get them to print out a gate pass, what is going on?
Well, here's the thing. They haven't done that in years. They have printers at almost every guard shack. The
Do they?
driver can,
Yeah, but
yes.
you can't access them.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
You send it directly from your phone to the printer. That's all you got to do. I think maybe part of the problem is maybe your user problems. They can't figure out how to do that, but that's how you do it. But I agree. I mean, mostly I would tell you always get the gate pass before you even send the driver. It just cuts all the crap out.
Well, there you go. But hey, how many times? And this is, I think, where you get carrier versus dealer.
Mhm.
Is the dealer's in a hurry because they're busy, so busy buying cars and busy and all this stuff, that they didn't get you the gate pass. But you need to be there ASAP to pick it up.
Yeah.
And the driver's like, but I don't have a gate pass. And the dealer's like, hey, just go get it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a problem. Because when you get to the guard shack, then they're going to do their old, yeah, so,
Gate pass ain't out there.
you know, and then you got to do all that stuff.
Yeah,
Really,
and then
can
you
I
gotta
just...
call the 1-800-MANHEIM number
And then
have
you're
it
like,
sent to
well, I got the
guard
dealer
shack.
on the phone. I got my dispatcher on the other line.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's on the phone. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Jay, that can't be true. You just made that up. Dan says new EV battery charging fee policy has also. So you got a new gate pass policy and a new EV battery charging fee policy.
Wonder what that is. How much is that?
Doesn't say how much it is, but it does say that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Next. FMCSA. Oh, no, this is... I can't... Will you read that, Sue?
FMCSA encourages safe driving around large trucks and buses.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Stop the music. That's not funny. But it is. In what way are you going to encourage people to drive safely around large trucks and buses? People drive like freaking maniacs.
Yes.
And I'm sure half of them just came out of bingo. I mean, our whole society has lost its mind when we get into cars. And they're going to try to encourage safe driving around. I am doing the apply. That's hilarious.
That is, okay, question, stop for a minute.
Oh, no, this is the best part. Pete Buttigieg has a video. That's why it works.
Oh. Didn't that guy to the left, the OOIDA one to the left on the other screen, look like John?
Yeah, that is. It looks like John Bloom.
I thought it was John at first. I thought that's what you were showing us.
Right. John Bloom says for the long haul. No, there's no like magic hat. I just think this is great. I know, listen, I'm power positivity and attraction of reaction of, I don't know, whatever. The thing is, listen, that's why I use humor so often. Because I'm somewhat positive, but I'm not like numb. I mean, I know what reality is. And there ain't no LinkedIn post or press release that's going to change that. No. Put your money somewhere else. This isn't, in fact, you know what? I know where to put the money. Oh, I know exactly where to put the money. And it ain't road checks either, but, you know, here they come. Set to focus this year on drug and alcohol possession. Oh, great.
Oh, wow.
And the importance of tractor protection systems. Braking, yes. Drugs, no. There'll be plenty of level 1 inspections all around North America. So get your white gloves going, because here comes a level 1.
Week?
I think it's next week.
Okay.
At every inspection, inspectors are asked to query the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse to make sure that drivers aren't prohibited from driving due to a positive drug or alcohol content test. For those of you who employ drivers, yeah, no, Jay, it's not funny, but half of them are on pot.
Yeah.
There, I said it. It's
the
true.
Rest of mess.
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, it's pot. You know, we talked about the coke and the meth. It isn't that many. See, Fed's changing marijuana regs. Everybody,
Well,
oh,
they
check
changed
this out. No way. Biden said no one should be in jail just for using or possessing marijuana. Now, how much do you dislike the guy? He just said no one should be in jail for using or possessing marijuana. By the way, guy doesn't even smoke pot. Probably hasn't been around it in decades. Changed my mind. Yeah, look at this. They're going to reschedule marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. Well, God, it's about time.
Yes.
Jeez. I don't know. Marijuana is a lot like meth. BS. Tell me about it at my level 1. Still, in the face of the rule change, plenty of uncertainty, neither the FMCSA nor the CVSA would comment on how potential... Yeah, because you probably can't talk about marijuana if you're a part of the... Yeah, I mean, you can't even say it. Welcome to Auto Transport. Hey, what's going on? We're having a real show here. All right. Just got a couple things left. See, this is where you put your money on broker fraud. One way FMCSA is combating broker fraud is by aiming to prevent bad actors from existing in the first place. FMCSA's registration system has been compromised in the past by people hacking into it and illegally registering as a company. Really? Wow. Forget about the buses. This is crazy. The fraud team will investigate fraudulently registered companies as well as cases where legitimate companies had their identities stolen. Oh my God.
Wow.
The candy store is busted and there's crap everywhere. FMCSA is limited in what it can do about broker fraud, creating issues with enforcing the rules. Limited by statutory and regulatory authority, the agency can enforce broker regulations that deal with record-keeping, misrepresentation, and other economic regulations. Outside of that, many broker fraud complaints are criminal in nature and fall under the jurisdiction of law enforcement. There appears to be a lack of action with law enforcement agencies. Local departments often do not have the manpower to go after fraudulent brokers. Since broker fraud deals with interstate commerce, cases can go to the FBI. Oh, brother. Even when it comes to civil action, FMCSA can only do so much. Enforcement of civil penalties must go through the judicial system. For a civil penalty to be handed down, then you got to file a lawsuit. I mean, it's no wonder.
Yeah,
There
that's
are
not gonna happen.
hackers inside the system, and they know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And no average transporter has the money to go sue these people.
No.
It costs them more to sue them than to, not do it, than to just leave it and let it go. That's the sad part.
So what can you do? Well, file a complaint. Oh, yeah.
What you do.
Let's see here. Get in the database. Report it to the FBI. Oh, my God. No wonder there's hackers inside the Matrix. And they recommend contact your insurance company. Okay. Inform all load boards and factoring companies. Okay. Make social media posts. This is weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Wow. And yeah,
I talked to somebody about that.
hack away.
Is that not crazy?
It's crazy. Well, no wonder. Final piece of news. Car delivery scams prey on unsuspecting buyers during the pandemic. Used car sales are on the rise. Okay, how does this work? We know how this works. Facebook Marketplace. Carolyn thought she found a great deal on a 2012 Honda for $2,000. The seller said it was discounted because her husband died, leaving for the military. Too many cats. Asked to see the car, but it was told it's in storage. Has to be delivered. Can't talk about it. Get off the phone. I received another email from the eBay that the car is shipping to my son. She received a contract that appeared. I know, it's terrible. She sent $2,000 in gift cards, but the email was fake. The whole thing turned out to be a scam. Car never arrived. Gift cards drained. Experts say you don't pay someone gift cards. Nowhere did she see a red flag. Jeez. This world is
I've had
brutal.
this exact same thing happen to me. The emails, the whole spiel, but I knew it. But that's the problem. They prey on younger people who have no clue and older people who have no clue. But I mean, exactly, almost word for word, it went down just like that, but I knew it. Because first off, everybody should know You're not going to pay them for a vehicle like that. You're going to pay, and see, that's the thing. They use that tricky thing with saying they're getting something from eBay. That's fake too, and you got to watch the HTTPS thing to see if it's really eBay. And the other way to go around it would be to contact eBay. They don't have a program like that where you pay them for a car. So, yeah, it's sad, but it's happening. It's been happening
Well, the
like that for years.
the amount of self-awareness you have to have now,
Mhm.
like when you go, I was just thinking
Getting
about like,
online.
because let's go to the marketing ad. Get a phone for everybody in your family, and now your
Mhm.
8-year-old has a phone.
Right.
And by the way, the 8-year-old understands this better than
And we do.
right. And the thing
Yeah.
is, so the thing is that yeah, I mean, you have to really be savvy.
Yeah.
I opened something recently, and even on that, I was like, oh god, yeah, that was fake.
Yeah.
I mean, VNAV Path, ex-broker dispatcher here. Central dispatch carrier accounts getting hacked. We had a couple of stolen vehicles.
Yeah. I've had a couple too.
Douglas, gotta hide unmarked white powder cough protein. Yeah, that's good. It's cough protein. No, listen. I know that I've already said so many things. I can't believe that the stream hasn't been shut down. But number one, I'm a fan of reality. It seems that everybody else should be. They say they are, without checking on it. But the other thing is that it's just really, golly, moving a car. Man, what's the average? What are some of the rates that you've been able to book? And let's go into your presentation. Yeah,
Okay.
here. I'm going to share the screen. Let's talk about dispatching and loads for a second.
Yeah.
Sue, take it away.
All right, so we're going to talk about verifications. Like I said, I almost think this is almost as important as getting the vehicle itself. There's a multiple amount of places that you pick from. I put and I know there's more out there. So if you guys have more, let me know. We'll add it to the list. But you got dealerships, residentials, repos, IA, Manheim. I mean, you see them on there. We're going to kind of go step by step through each one and kind of give you a background on each one on how you want to verify. And like I said, if you have more suggestions as other places, I added the last 3 on just because there's certain things you have to do at all 3 of those places that most people don't even realize. So that's why I put Carvana, Carmart, and Tesla on there. And Amazon actually is another one. So if you want to go to the next one, we'll just kind of start going through each one of them. So at dealerships, you're going to ask if you don't have a name or a specific number, which very rarely happens. You're going to ask if it's a used car, you're asking for the used car manager. If it's a new car, you're asking for the new car manager. Biggest thing when you're verifying any vehicle is you always get the name of the person you're talking to. Because if something's screwed up when your driver arrives, you know who they need to talk to. You're going to verify their hours for pickup. And just keep in mind, just because online it says they're open till 8 o'clock does not mean that you can pick up a car until 8 o'clock. Some of these bigger dealerships have porters. They only let you pick up cars while those porters are there. It's usually 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then they're done after that. So always verify what your hours are for pickup. You verify the type of vehicle it is. You want to verify at least the last 6 of the VIN, especially if it's a truck. You're going to want to make sure, like for my guys, I got to make sure what's going to fit. So I'm asking if it's a 4-door, 2-door, long bed, short bed, if it's got the extra big bumper on the back, or it has the cattle guard on the front. That always adds almost a foot, sometimes 2 foot. So you got to keep that stuff in mind when you're booking, especially if you have a 3-car or 4-car and there's, you only have so much room. Another thing, you always verify the address on everything you do. A lot of times they'll put a dealership on there and it's not that address because they've got a sister store. I had it happen last week. It was actually at a different store. Another thing, you're going to usually ask them for the driver if there's a certain place for them to park when they get in there. Sometimes they'll just say, have the driver call me when he gets here. I'm going to tell him where to park, that kind of thing. But I've also had them tell me, don't pull down this road, you'll get stuck, you'll get a ticket, or park out in the street. That's how we do things. And then you always give that to the driver. As far as notice needed, sometimes they want to notice because they've got the car inside on the showroom floor. You don't want to wait for that. So if they say, hey, I need a 2-hour notice so I can get the car out and get it ready, do that, or have the driver do it. Next one is a residentials. So residentials are always fun. If I'm getting loads, say I have three different vehicles. The first one I'm verifying is the residential, because if any of them are going to be messed up or not work, it's going to be that one. So you always want to, I always look up their address first to make sure my driver can get where he needs to be at. There's no low-lying limbs. There's no electrical wires we need to worry about. And that's especially true if you've got a double stack trailer, an 8, 9, 10 car, 4 or 5 car. 3 cars, it's not as bad. But the biggest thing you have to worry about 3 cars is if the low line, like if you're in an area where the trees are overgrown, it will still scratch that car either on the side or on the roof. You're going to be paying for it. So what I typically see, if I'm looking and I'll look at the aerial view, and I'll make sure my driver can get in and out of there with no problem. And also I'm checking for the trees and that kind of thing. And if I think my driver is going to have any problem at all, when I call them, the first thing I'm saying is, I'm sorry, I've looked up your area. My driver's not going to fit in that area. Can we meet at a Walmart? And I usually kind of look in the area to see what's close by so I can kind of throw some ideas out to them. They usually know before I even call that the driver's not getting in there. And they'll say, meet me at Walmart. You'll get some people that say, well, how am I going to get home? Well, usually we'll have the driver drive them back in the car and then drive right back. Let's see, what else? You want to go to the next one? Okay. And then on residents, you always want to call 24 hours out, always, because you never know what they're doing. And then I always tell them I'm going to give them a 2 or whatever they want. Sometimes they want 4 hours because they're at work or something like that. So I just, whatever they ask for is what I tell the driver to do. If the driver's busy and they can't handle it, then I'll call and make sure that they know they're coming and approximately what time to be there. Let's see. Oh, the biggest thing too is run and drive. I don't know what it is, but residents, I think they perceive us as just tow trucks. So it doesn't matter if they run and drive. So it's no big deal. That's all they see on the road, but it never fails. Always ask if it runs and drives. If you feel like for any reason that they may not be telling you the truth, I always throw out to them that, look, we don't have a winch. It'll be $150 non-run fee if we go over there and the car doesn't run and drive. Usually if you say that, then you're going to get the real information out of it. The other thing is not all brokers explain to the residents that they cannot fill the car up like a moving truck. And you will come across that quite a bit if you don't ask that question. That's one of our questions. What do you have inside the vehicle? You know, most of my guys, 50 pounds and under in the trunk is fine. Just so we all know though, it's all still illegal. They're not supposed to have anything in there. And it's because of guns and drugs and that kind of thing. Moving on, let's go to the repo tow yard. So those are 2 different things altogether. So repo yards, as we all know, you got to do an appointment. Most of them now are by email. What I have happen with repos is this. You will email them. They don't get back in touch with you in time to schedule that appointment for the next day. Or they schedule what time they tell you you're going to be there. And we all know that doesn't work. And then you also find out if they answer you, if it runs and drives, if it has keys. I'm the person that stays away from repo yards, so I very rarely do them. Now, tow yards are totally different. There's a lot of brokers, which I would consider, what do they call them? Like reindeer and stuff, where they move corporate. That's what it is, corporate auto moves. Anyways, they will send a car to a tow yard for you to go get it so you don't disturb the customer, or they've already left and they're traveling to their new job, that kind of thing. And it's same thing with delivery. Sometimes they'll take them to a tow yard. They also usually have certain times that they only want you to pick up from 8 to 2 or something like that. And sometimes drivers can't do that. So they'll send them to a tow yard. They don't ever charge you for it. The thing you have to watch for when they do that is they've already done their inspection. They've done their bill of lading. They brought it to their tow yard. You have to look at their inspection plus do your own inspection and make sure that they both coincide. If there's something different, you need to be calling the broker and saying, hey, this tow yard damaged this, because otherwise they make you deliver on the original BOL And if there was damage and you didn't do it, guess who's paying for it? You are now. So that's one of the things you got to watch for. But I don't mind tow yards just because they usually stay open late and it's not like a repo. It's corporate move, you're picking it up, car's good to go, that kind of thing. All right, now the fun part, IAA and Copart. All right, as we all know, Carport has their own app. We have to make appointments. You have to have a PIN number now and the lot number. The good part about using the app now, though, you can at least see if it's paid for, if there's storage on it. I don't know if everybody knows that, but if you go down, it'll say not paid in the top part of the app. If you click on it and scroll down, it'll tell you what's owed on it. A lot of times it's just storage. And as everybody knows, or maybe they don't, anything under $50 at Copart is usually releasable. There are instances which that is not true, but that's because they've owed payments on other cars and they won't release it until all the storage is paid. So in all reality, if you're not dealing with somebody you know, you probably still want to call Copart and verify just to make sure if there's some kind of payment issue on there, call and make sure it's just that and it will be released. IAA, there are no appointments as of right now. It's coming in though. They're working on it. As of right now, you just need the buyer and the stock number. Now, Copart and IAA both forklift on, whether they run and drive or not. They always bring them out on a forklift. You will have some companies that say, I do not want you having a forklift. I don't want you to put it on with a forklift. What they don't understand is Copart still brings them to you, drops it in front of your trailer with a forklift. Now, I've had them not want them to do that either. I don't know if we've ever succeeded with them not bringing it out like that. And it's usually low end or like lower to the ground sports cars, that kind of thing. They don't want them to ruin the oil pan, that kind of stuff. So I always take pictures of the underneath. I know it's Copart, but you're going to want to look for the catalytic converter. That's the number one thing that gets stolen. And it's number one thing a lot of times that they may be buying that car for. So you want to make sure you take pictures of that, make sure it's there. If it's missing, let them know because they will try to charge you for it if it's missing, whether it was stolen at Copart or not, if you didn't let them know. A lot of times it's in the fine print of your dispatch instructions. Always read them. Okay, next. Jay, gotcha. Okay. I put on here to go to Copart to look up the pictures and the status. You can go to Copart.com. You just put in the lot number. You can look at all that. Now, the new rule for IA and Copart, as far as run and drive, it just starts. So it doesn't mean it actually drives down the road. So you're going to want to look at all the pictures. You want to make sure all the tires are there and they're not tweaked. And you can tell by looking if one tire is going one way and the other one's straight, you know you've got a broken axle. You know you're going to need either they've agreed that you're putting on the very back end to roll off or you have to have a forklift. And that's the number one thing they always lie about is whether they have a forklift at delivery or not. So just make sure you watch that. Now for IAA, you can go to IAA.com, put in the lot number. It does not usually work. AutoStat, I didn't spell it right on there. It's AutoAstat.com. You can put Copart and IAA on there. And it will show you more pictures on that website than it does on the Copart website. It also tells you the status and where they're picking up from, that kind of thing. Use it that way you can look at it. You know what you're getting into when you take a car, because you and I both know, I don't know how many times they've sent me a burned out husk of metal and expected me to pick it up. And now that you can look at the pictures, you can call them back and say, hey, I can't do this. Next one is Manheim and ADESA. We were talking about gate passes. They're mandatory. There's very few like walk in and your gate passes out anymore. There's a few that will still do that. But most of them tell you come in with them. Now you can call the 1-800-Manheim number for almost every vehicle up until 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I believe. I think they're on Pacific Standard Time. And you can have one sent to that Manheim where your driver is at. Now that works up until it's a Mercedes. I don't know what there is. If it's a Mercedes sale, they will not do it for that. Now using lot vision for Manheim is critical. You can call and verify everything with them. I recommend using lot vision. It will show you exactly where it's at in the map. It will tell you if the battery's got enough battery charge. It'll tell you if it's in the TRA. Now, if you come across one where it says TRA, and it will say it on the gate pass usually too, you want to call and you want to find out if it really runs and drives. Most Manheims do not have forklifts. They cannot help you load this thing. So just keep that in mind when it comes to that. Now, ADESA does not have anything like that. I'm not sure why. You very rarely will get a gate pass for ADESA. They're not the same as Manheim. They're this little itty bitty, like, I would say business card size. So there's not enough room to write anything. And I forgot to talk about this. When you go to Manheim and ADESA, you are doing the inspection, you're writing everything on the back of the gate pass, also on whatever eBOL system, you're taking all the pictures, you're doing all of that. You take a picture of that gate pass with all the damages written on it, and you turn it into the guard check as you leave. That's your security to make sure you're not paying for any damage that was already there. And like I said, ADESA's is itty bitty tiny. In fact, Danny was there last week and he's like, I can't write on this. I said, just, I guess, grab a piece of paper, attach it to that little piece of paper, hand it to the guard check. That's the only thing we can't do. All of the facilities, Manheim and ADESA, all have different hours. Some close at 7, some are 24/7, some do it on different days. They have 24/7. So most of them for Manheim and ADESA, you can go online and you look up their hours. It says lot/other hours. That's the hours you're looking for. That's going to tell you how late you can pick up at the guard shack. And there's some even Manheims and ADESA that will tell you that, and it actually said it the other day when I was looking up one in Houston, it says you can only pick up during daylight hours or until the sun goes down. It's that kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy. All right, next. All right, rail yards. Rail yards almost always involve apps. Usually they're 24/7 for pickup. The apps are because they're coming in on a rail card, a lot of times they get damaged. You also usually have to have a physical BOL to bring in for them to sign and stamped too. Most of them require a tracking app as well, so they see where you're at when you're going and dropping and all that kind of stuff. I don't mind rail yards, but Danny had a hell of a time in Kansas City last week trying to find these vans because they had them spread out so far. And most rail yards go by the bay number, and this one did not have bay numbers. And by bay numbers, I don't mean there's an actual physical bay. They're on the ground, painted usually with like B whatever, and that's how you find your vehicles there. Next one is the port. I don't do a lot of port. It requires a TWIC most of the time for pickup and delivery. It's a lot of time waster is what I call them, and they usually don't pay enough to be worth it. And if I was going to do one or the other, pickup or delivery, I'd pick up from a port every day of the week, then deliver. Because sometimes delivery ports, you're sitting there. I've had a driver sit there all day long until the next day even. So that's why I don't do ports. And right now, by the way, you can go to Baltimore and ports, by the way. I'm dropping cars there. Next one is Amazon. Amazon vans are all over the place, as everybody's been seeing. There's just a few brokers that are actually doing them. They require this interesting little click link BOL that's just for delivery that you must use. Otherwise, you will not get paid. And that, I think it refers to everybody out there when you're doing the Amazon. The bigger problem with Amazon vehicles is they will not answer the phone. You're very rarely given a phone number, if at all. You're supposed to just show up during hours and hope that it's where it's supposed to be and the person that has the keys is there. Doesn't happen very often. I don't do Amazon very often unless I can verify, or if it's just paying such outrageous money, it's worth the risk. And I think we can go to the next one, Jay. Okay, rental cars. That's going to be like Ally, Hertz, that kind of thing. They always have short hours. They usually all close at 2, 3 o'clock. There's a few out there that stay open until 7 or 8. They are hard to reach to verify. Usually they'll say if you've got a release, you're good to go. And most of the time on the release, they do put the hours for release. So that is great, and that helps. Carvana used to verify, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but Carvana has been selling a lot of cars through Manheim and ADESA. You'll get a release form that looks just like a Manheim or ADESA, but it will say offsite, and it's Carvana. And how you can tell it's Carvana is the phone number is an 833 number. Now, it used to be that they would verify the cars by texting the 833 number. They do no longer do that any longer. The last several times I've asked, they've said, we don't verify anymore. You've got a release. do your thing. The hours are on the website. So you can't verify if they run and drive. You can't verify they're really there. In general, I will say most Carvana units are there. Now, you have to keep in mind that there are outside individuals and dealerships that buy from Carvana too. So when that happens, you get a release. You have to show that release. Now, if it's a Carvana load themselves, you usually don't require a release. You can actually just show them your load sheet from Carvana. They'll release the car. But they do have short hours. They do not work on the weekends. So keep that in mind. If you see a car listed for Carvana, you know what you're getting into. I think we've got one more page. Carmart. Okay, so everybody knows who Carmart is. They're everywhere. The problem with verifications with Carmart, you cannot get to inventory. You're supposed to go to the business office, who hates us calling, and they'll say they'll transfer you to inventory. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I've had cars not be there. It's really hard to verify and make sure stuff is there when they're selling cars as they're booking cars. And that's what you have to worry about there is you may get a full load of cars and within an hour or two, you may have been deleted 4 of those cars. It happens all the time. They're constantly selling them. I've literally shown up and they weren't there. And you can only verify to a certain extent until the driver shows up. But it does happen a lot. I don't really like Carmart very much just because of that, because you can't guarantee your vehicles are actually there and you've got a full load and you're moving on. Now Tesla uses an app. It's mainly just for tracking. I don't think the cars are on there or anything like that. Everybody hates the Tesla app. It never works. My biggest problem with Tesla is they do not answer the phone to verify at all. I don't know how to put it this way. They're also very rude. I've literally had Danny get screamed at because he was sitting there waiting for a car. And I think it had something to do with it not being charged. They're notorious for not charging the Teslas. And if you can't cancel, you can't call them to verify and let them know what day you're going to be there. Nobody can charge the car. That happens a lot. And then you're going without a car because nobody's going to sit there. It takes anywhere from 3 to 5 hours sometimes for them to get it up to a certain charge to get it on your trailer. And then you have to have it certainly charged a certain amount to get it back off your trailer. So keep that in mind when dealing with Tesla. Maybe one more page, Jay? I'm not sure. I thought Tesla was last, but maybe not.
I think that is the
Okay.
end of it. And I'll tell you, wow, the Tesla thing.
Yeah.
Great job too, by the way. Wow.
Thanks.
Really awesome. You said a lot of like compelling stuff there. But I want to start with the Tesla, and that is that. So it seems like Tesla's always been a little bit difficult. If you're not in the club,
Right.
and you're just like independent,
Yeah.
it's for years, for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember before COVID, carriers saying, "Man, I don't know, hauling for them is
Yeah.
whatever." So yeah, I guess you got to get Tesla.
Well, and here's the
Verified.
thing. You're not hauling directly for Tesla. I'm just saying you're picking up from Tesla. So there's several brokers that only deal with Tesla. TFI, KES. There's a couple other ones out there. But like I said, they don't answer the phone to verify. Usually that broker doesn't even know what the hours are. Couldn't even tell you because they probably couldn't get them on the phone either. And then, like I said, they're usually not charged or they need to be charged. And if you can't call them the day before to get it charged, nobody's going to sit there and wait. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. Time is
Well,
money.
and one of the things we're talking about too is that they're a broker. A broker wants everybody to know there are some things way beyond their control.
Right. Right.
I mean, if the shipper has a certain culture, a broker can't change
But
that.
here's my thing, though. If they are specifically Tesla brokers, and I know that TFI is specifically Tesla brokers, then they should know every place, every contact, and every hour for every place. There's no reason they shouldn't. It would make our lives a lot easier, for sure.
I agree 100%, and this is where the focus is not on the logistics.
Right.
The focus is on getting the client.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's
yeah.
change my mind. Explain to me how that's not true. The focus is never on the logistics.
No. Yeah. Well, and truly,
shouldn't say never, Jay.
their customer could
That
be
was
the
way
end
overboard.
people too, but I don't think so.
The focus is on getting the client.
Hmm.
The focus is not on the logistics.
No. But if you've been doing this for they've been doing Tesla now for 3 or 4 years, and a lot of them are the exact same places. There's no reason you shouldn't have the right contact, information, whether they answer or not.
And
Paul, you should have a name.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
And Paul says in the live chat, I always call to the dealer, sales manager, and always verify.
Yep.
And there's a reason why, because you have to. Because the focus is not on logistics.
Yep.
The focus is on getting the client. Paul says it's
Paul,
very
I
hard to
agree.
verify 10 plus vehicles every day.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, exactly. You're
Yeah.
right. You're a 9 car and you're doing
Yeah.
9 pickups or
Yep.
4 pickups or whatever mix
Yeah.
you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of work.
It's
A lot
crazy.
of times, what we do in the morning is get all the loads, and then start the verification process and fill in loads in between while
Well,
we're looking for loads.
And this is why you need 2 telephones. Is
Yep.
because you're booking loads and you're verifying loads,
Mhm.
and it's still a mystery how you do a show every Thursday.
Yeah, sometimes it's crazy.
Shout out
Or
to
today.
that. I know that Sue dropped a lot of information there. You can put it in the comments. You can contact her. In fact, let's do that. Let's share some contact info. If you need dispatching services, I had a guy email me, I think it was last week, and I said, what I say to people is, I don't think I've figured out the protocol yet, because when I reply, I could copy you, but I feel like, what if I don't know.
Mhm.
So I don't copy you.
Right.
But I say, please talk to Murphy Auto Transport Services, mention me, and then please let me know how it goes. And
Right.
I usually don't hear back. I don't know what happens.
I don't usually hear back either when I sent that guy. I can't remember the other day
Right.
you gave me one too, right? And I think I sent him an email. So.
But I also wonder if it's because I don't have a customer success staff.
Right.
They're all on vacation, and because when somebody wants something, you have 5 seconds.
Mhm.
I usually don't get back to people in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I also, if somebody leaves a comment on the YouTube channel, I don't want to get back to them in 5 seconds because now we're in a relationship for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that comments, man. In my biggest video last week was the one about driverless trucks in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because everybody wanted to talk about Joe Biden and everything.
Oh. So there you go.
There's a thing. The way to go viral is to stir stuff up. So if you want to go viral, talk about what's happening on campuses, talk about, right? I don't even want to mention, right? I'm just saying what's happening on campuses. Because I can't believe what's happening on campuses right now. I can't even understand it. Here's what I really think. I think that 5% of the people on campus are the ones in the scuffle, and 95% of the kids are still just going to class and, drinking beer. I don't know. But what do we focus on? The 5%. It's the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Which is why I always end up with a shopping cart with a terrible wheel on it. I don't know. I think we finished everything. Next week, let's talk about next week and let's let everybody go. They're like, man, Jay, you're killing me. Next week we're doing... so next week is another TBD.
To be determined.
Well, I wanted to do this show with like carrier dealer logistics, but that they gotta pause. They're not ready. So, and I'll just share it again. I've got, because, camera, do you have something you want to do a show about? Is somebody in the live chat with a pressing issue? People that work in logistics are the hardest people to schedule to do a show. There's a few people right now that I wanted to do a show and can't, not ready, too busy. And even here, I was thinking this too. When you, here, I got to share this too. When you were putting that presentation together, how long did that take, right? It still took a lot of time.
About a couple hours last night.
Yeah.
I mean, what I started with is not what I ended up with, of course. Yes, this was our hailstorm tornado that happened last night.
What the heck?
That's hail.
Okay. I'm okay right now. I'm still in my chair. Okay. Everything's okay. Wait, those look pretty big. What?
That's how big. That's what some of the size of them. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's big.
3 inches, I think, is one of the biggest ones they found.
That is big hail, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's what filled your yard?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's smaller, but there's bigger ones.
But is that okay? Fine, that's not the average. That's a big one. But are we talking like I heard somebody say ping pong ball.
Well, yeah, we had golf ball, and we had most of them were golf ball, but a lot of that's like almost the size of my fingernail with some of them. They were all mixed. What was weird is we went over to my friend's house who has a basement because this tornado was going to be bad. And so we went over there and we were in her basement, and she has like an outdoor with a metal roof, like sunroom. It was so loud and hitting the windows and everything. I mean, it was insane. We get out of that. It finally ends. We go over to our place, which is only like 5-6 miles away. That's what we found, all the ice like that. Now she had ice over there, but nothing like what we had. It was crazy.
Man, I mean, that's really big.
Yeah.
So how long does it take after a hailstorm? How long does it take for those vehicles that got hail damage need to get moved? A month?
Well, that's the thing. How bad is the hail damage? Like my Camaro has hail damage. What was weird is my Land Rover that we drove over there to my friends is okay, but a couple of our cars were at our house have got dings, all of them. Our neighbor across the street was just talking about how both of their cars got nailed really good. That's the thing. Do you sell your car? Or do you fix it? Do what do you do? Because there's all these places out there now that just go through with hail damage and pink, 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 and they pull them all out. So I don't know. And here's the question. I was talking to one of my customers in St. Louis, and he's like, so don't buy cars from the I-66 auto auction in Springfield this week. I said, yeah, I would probably stay away from anything in that area because of the hail. But,
right.
That's probably where you need to worry about it more.
There's an auction genius somewhere that's got the map. I saw you guys talking about how many carriers per dispatcher.
3 to 4 typically.
3 to 4, yeah, 3 to 4.
I mean, it depends on how many cars each transporter hauls. If you have more, bigger car haulers, 9, 10, you're only doing like 3. If you're doing 3 cars, you can usually handle 4 to 5, depending on your skill level. And I'm going to call it skill level because that's really what it is. And, like Jen can handle 5, 6. I could handle 5, 6. Once you get over that, you're going to need help with verifications. You're going to need help with accounting, that kind of thing. But you can be as big as you want. So
and there's another one because I don't really do accounting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll help out.
Right.
But when I was dispatching, I would try to set pretty strong boundaries. Because once I'll call, okay, Larry, I'll call this broker to see where the payment is.
Right.
But that's pretty much it.
Right.
Man. And I'll say, because you want me searching for loads.
Right. You don't want me
If
doing
you've got me calling on invoices and this and that, I'm not searching for loads.
Right.
And you hired me to search for loads. Yeah.
True. It's just part of what I entail in my service.
Well,
and
you're very thoughtful. And that's that's awesome.
Well, I want my drivers to get paid, and I think that's one of the reasons why we do it is to keep track of they're getting their money in the mail and or ACHs or whatever. Because everything, isn't it funny anymore? Everything slipped through the crack this week. We don't know why we didn't mail out that check last week like we were supposed to. This
So,
lady was in the hospital, whatever. It's always some
let's see,
story.
dog died, family
Yes.
emergency, moving to the military.
Yes.
I said when I wrote the thing out for this show, is the check ready? Do dealerships still leave checks for
Yes.
carriers?
Yes.
Is that the most common?
No, I would
No.
say most dealerships are billings. Um, but I would say, yeah, let's say 40% COD, maybe 60% billings. I think it's mainly because they don't want to deal with it because they got to go to the accounting person to go get the check cut, and then you got to go take it to the president to have that person sign it and the vice president sign it. It's always a process. So unless it's a small dealership, those are the ones you're going to see CODs at mainly. I also have some dealerships that will pay you with Zelle or Cash App and stuff like that too once you get delivered. But once again, those are smaller dealerships. The bigger guys, no, you're not getting paid. It's usually a 10, 15-day pay usually.
So, wow, check this out. Breaking news. Paul says, my friend with his brother works with 16, 18 three-car haulers and makes 10 to 16 gross per week. He's pro, works 7 years as a dispatcher. Paul, I would really like to have your friend and his brother on for a show.
Yeah, because I mean,
That-
do they do?
Anything near that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, because I'd be curious what all they do. If they're just finding the loads,
Wow.
yeah, you could do that. But verifications and accounting, no, you probably can't handle that.
This is not an interrogation.
No,
It's a wow. Tell me more
That's-
about what you're
yeah,
doing. I
let's
think
hear it.
people would like to hear that. But I also
Absolutely.
understand, when you got something good, you don't want to share it with everybody. So I get that. You know
Right.
what I mean? I mean, it's okay.
Oh, well, yeah.
Anyway, but it's and Paul's been really involved today, saying great stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of Paul. You sound like a dispatcher. And that's what we're looking for. Also, Paul has shared that Isertis was on, or rather, Metro bought RCG Logistics. See, I knew that.
Mhm.
But what I don't know is, and let's talk about that for a second. When a company acquires another company, that means a change in process, some change in management, etc. What is happening with contacting dispatch, verifying loads, booking loads? As you said, they are posting their loads on Super Dispatch, which number one is interesting because I'm pretty sure I heard something a long time ago that'll never happen.
That's why I think it's just RCG's old loads because that's how they always posted their loads.
And that's
It's on
right.
Super. Yeah.
Okay, which are now labeled Isertis.
Right, and that would explain the California number because RCG is in California. Yeah.
So somebody right now, listen, no, we're not posting them there. Yeah, post them. We're not doing post them all,
Well, and I
Post
will say,
Malone.
when RCG listed them on Super too, you could request them. They would never answer. You always had to call them because they wanted to go over everything with you because they're all Copart, usually or IA cars.
Okay, let's talk about ADESA for a second. Did you say that ADESA has a business card what?
Size. Yeah, that's their game pass.
Why isn't it smaller? It's too large, dang it. I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know. They like Manheim's, you see, it's a full sheet. I don't conserving paper. I don't know. No clue.
Well, yeah, that's right. If we're going to go green,
We'll go all the way.
heck with the logistics, let's go green. I mean, actually, what I just said sounds like something me and John would have said while joking around on the phone, because we used to talk about the Dumb It Down app. It's one of my favorite apps that doesn't exist. But Dumb It Down is an app that'll take your clean bill of lading and add coffee stains and other crap, so it looks like you're an actual driver, rather than just saying honey, I was there. There's coffee. There's eggs. Dumb It Down app to prove you were there.
That's funny.
Oh man. All right. And were there any other? Let's go back. Just last. By the way, I think you can make a necklace out of that thing.
I know, it's huge.
My
It's crazy.
God. Right now, there's a Renaissance fair saying, "Where is it?"
And you know the funny part is we got up at 7 this morning to go yard selling, and we still were covered in ice. It was
Wow.
still up against the garages. It was crazy
Wow.
because it had gotten so cold afterwards.
Let's see. Yep, Carvana. What did you say about Carvana? How's that? Actually, yeah, how's that going?
Carvana, like I said, used to verify. They will no longer verify a car for you at all.
What is that? What do you mean they won't verify it for you?
They won't. So Carvana has been selling a lot of their cars through ADESA and Manheim, so you get a off-site release is what they call it.
Okay.
And you'll know it's Carvana. They won't put it it's Carvana, but how you know it's Carvana if it has an 833 phone number to verify with.
Psst,
And that's how you know.
psst, hey.
What? Yeah.
Well, like, I mean,
Here's your trick.
what's the secret?
I-
Don't tell
well-
them it's Tesla.
Yeah. So it used to be you could text that number and they would say, yeah, the car's there. These are the hours for pickup, blah, 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 blah. Now they say, I'm sorry, we're not going to help you. If you got a release,
They
it's
don't
there.
say, we're sorry, we're not going to help you.
No, I don't think it was that nice.
They say,
I could tell you. Hold on, I'll tell you.
they
what
probably read you something catchy like, hey, do you love leadership and coaching? you can have this car, but we're not going to verify it.
Okay, this is
man.
what I got the last time I asked for one. It says, "Hi, thanks for reaching out to our support team. Please review the information below and you can respond to this text with any questions." Okay, but then it says, "All Carvana wholesale cars are already ready as soon as they sell. Pickup
Oh.
hour locations can be located on our website. Go there to figure it out." And then it says the vehicle condition must be provided by the purchaser, not us. If you have a release, the vehicle is ready for pickup at the address provided on the vehicle release. Not true, but okay.
I can't believe how much negative feedback came out of this show. I mean,
Notes back. They
logistics
started doing
companies are
this
getting
back
hammered on
last
this.
August. Last August was when they stopped verifying. Is what I've got on my phone.
Well, yeah, because we're spending too much on sending people to conferences. We can't verify. Sheesh. Go green. Make the gate pass smaller. If they can't fit it on there, they can't say it happened. Genius. This is crazy. This can't be true. This is not true. You made it up. Auto A stat.
I spelt it wrong. Yeah,
I
it's
know. I got it in
auto-agent.
the live chat, but is auto A stat because the companies couldn't get it done themselves, or why is there an auto A stat?
I am not sure. When
Right?
did I tell you about that first? We found it like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna pull it up here. I
Um,
mean, I remember you, and I like how the this is pretty funny on their homepage.
Yes.
Then it starts with talking about YouTube videos, but
Mhm.
so you can get
Buy cars from 'em. Yeah.
can you buy cars here?
That's why when they show stuff like that, that's what I'm assuming. And they always have this guy Alex over here, who I'm sure is a chat bot, always asking, "Can I help you? What are you looking for?" Kind
Yeah,
of
but
thing.
even he has. There it is. Oh,
Yeah.
he wrote customer support, not customer success. Oh, well. Customer success? I don't need support. I need success, Alex.
So yeah, read what it says. This is a salvage car platform for Copart, IA, and Impact Auto Auctions, all on one platform.
Huh. Search,
So-
review, and analyze.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, look at that. See, go up a little bit. It says, go up a little bit higher. It says exact sales prices, auction sales history. So they do provide history on a car, like a house. Is that the way you take it? What it sold for before and
Auction sales history. Well, I guess if it's gone through an auction before, somehow they have that. Maybe they've been storing VIN data so long
Maybe.
that they have that.
because it says never overpay for salvage vehicles. So that's so you can compare prices. That's what it's used for.
Hmm.
I mean, that's not what I use it for.
But I guess you can't buy anything, but you can
You can compare when you're going to Copart to go buy this said vehicle. You can go see what it sold for before or what similar cars are selling for at this time, so you know whether you're getting a good deal or not. That's why I'm thinking.
So all right. So here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out like why make this, and the answer would be then because we couldn't get this information at the auction where we were buying it.
Yeah.
So now, since we've dug it up, we're sharing it with you because this is information you want. This is information you need, but it's information you can't get.
And you know why this probably came into play? Because they stopped doing live auctions with real people. This way you can do your online Copart auction, look at this, see what the prices are currently, so you don't, you know what I mean, get the right price.
Well, and I've said this before. Listen, you have enough information. Take it easy there, sailor. Just do what you need to do. Stop asking questions. Okay? All right. I bet Carvana's stock went through the roof because they're only buying EVs. There is something going on with... there is a lot of, like, he said, she said with the EV demand right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you can even say that now. It'd be they said, they said.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
they said. You got it? Okay.
Don't you think that the EV has kind of waned out just a tad because we're all kind of waiting to see if they're going to blow up on us or not?
It has. So, and here's what you got to do. If you're running a big business, a fleet, an auction, you still have to have an eye on EV.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying it doesn't seem as prevalent.
No. And automakers are like daily waffling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as they sit with their, you know, we talk about $200 Denver omelets and $50 billion deals. They are daily, flipping a coin on the EV. God, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
I mean, it's inevitable, but
maybe not yet.
The press release was a little strong.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and
because all of my guys that are at dealerships, when this all. It all came to kind of like where everybody's like, go do this, go do this. Well, not last year, the year before, right? First of the year when the year rolled over. Because that's when I was thinking about it too. And then I talked to my dealers and like, don't do it. Let them work the bugs out. They're all bad cars right now. That's what they told me.
Well, and listen, look at, just go look in the mirror. Do I want to buy an EV right now? No. Still, I don't. Not yet.
No.
I'd rather have a hybrid.
Mm-hmm. Good gas mileage.
Let's say you go on vacation somewhere. That you don't know everything. You don't.
Where do I go?
Are you going to go with gas or are you going to go with EV? I'm going to take gas, man. I don't know this area.
Right.
So if you know the area and you got like the perfect schedule.
Right. You're just using it to go to and from work or whatever. Yeah, I can see doing that.
$200
but is it worth spending that kind of money for that?
That's right. But if you are in any way,
whatever they call them,
middle to lower class, and you don't know where you're at, you're going to go gas.
Yeah.
So right now an automaker's like, oh my God, that's good. We get that. No, that's not happening. All right. We've worn out our welcome. We're over 90 minutes. So I guess we don't really need an interview next week. We're going to do more dispatching fundamentals.
Okay.
Do me a favor, take notes of things you didn't touch upon.
Yeah, we'll do like another section of it or something.
Scour the news, and I do want to. So I want to leave you with this, and let's think again about, because this I think is where the juice is. The juice is here. Central Dispatch, Super Dispatch, RunBuggy, Auto Sled, Montway, Assertus, ACV.
Forgot to put,
Central, Super, RunBuggy, Auto Sled, Montway, Assertus, ACV. Holly's not on that list because I have no idea what's going on at Holly right now. Like, is there anything to talk about?
No, not really. No,
right?
Same old.
And it's United Roads. I think that, here we go. We didn't hit United Road. United Road, like NVTA.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that National Vehicle Transporters Alliance?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about it?
I mean, other than it flashing on the screen every once in a while, but that's
there we go. And that's my point. I mean, nobody knows
really what it is.
I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything. I don't know anything. Acertus acquired RCG, so we know they're going to be rejiggering. We talked about Montway earlier, preferred carrier program. Looking to learn more about that. Autosled, I think, has been focusing on dealers. Don't know more than that. RunBuggy, right? Signing up dealer. We're talking franchise dealers and rooftops. Super Dispatch has a lot to share, but you gave them some good feedback today. And when it comes to Central Dispatch, just between you and me and the lamppost, I kind of nudged Eric, like,
Yes.
What?
where are we? We're in May, and I haven't really heard anything new, and I do know that Central is... So here's what Central is doing publicly. Central is promoting to dealers that Central Dispatch is revived. And that's their wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Cox Automotive is good at talking to dealers.
Right.
We're great at talking to carriers. I think that when and if there's some good news to share, Central Dispatch should consider bringing it here, because carriers just want to hear what's the deal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Give me the info.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, Super, they've got their announcements. I'm sure they shared it in their network. But the feedback you just gave, I don't know, seems more important than anything else. Like, if I've got a problem, I need to be able to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
And my feedback is, I don't think that's a new problem. So, for whatever it's worth.
Key.
I mean, I don't know.
That's what we always say. Communication.
And that's, well, this is how we'll end the show. This is the thing. It's the slogans. We live in this slogan-based society. Communication. Well, can I talk to you about it? Not right now.
Oh. Maybe later.
What? What? Well, then what was all the slogans about?
Yeah.
All right, you go away, son. You're bothering me. Anyways, all right. Next Thursday, another great dispatching show. You got your notes. I got my homework. We'll be back then. Is Janice in the office?
She just left.
She just left. All right. Well, then I will say thank you, Sue. Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in a week.
All right. See
Take
ya.
care. Bye.